Good morning, good morning, good morning. We hope everybody is doing well today. This is our back to school access denied, as next week when we're doing this, we'll have all of our kiddos back in school. I know some people have already returned, but we wanted to start this week's access denied by one, and we'll go deeper into it by thanking all the parents, grandparents, caretakers who got a chance to come out this past Saturday to our second annual back to school bash, but not back to business as usual. Thank you guys for weathering the storm, the heat, everything that you had to do. It was a true success. We gave away over 300, close to 400 backpacks. We fed, we did the bouncy house, we did the popcorn, the snow cones, and we want to thank all you guys who had a chance to come out. But before we go deeply into that, Miss Moffin is on with me this week. Miss Moffin, how are you doing this week? And thank you.
No, thank you. I have a question, but I'm just as you put it so brilliantly. I'm just trusting the process. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, and we're just gonna see how it goes. I have kids already in school. My other kiddo does not start school to the
And I think we lost Miss Moffin for a little bit, but okay, there you go.
is.
You back.
I don't know where I left off, but like I said, I'm just gonna trust the process and try not to stereotype them as they stereotype us. And we're gonna see what happens for one of my kiddos so far. But I do have a pressing question.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate what the police are doing. I appreciate the extra security, but I'm sorry if my child's not being educated properly, there's still never any security for me. But the question is, where is the money coming from? Where's the money coming from? Because I doubt that they're doing this out of the goodness of their heart. And that's just, what is going to suffer because of this.
Mm-hmm.
What y'all talking
And
about?
that's something that we definitely need to touch on. And I see we got Miss Sonya T in the house as well. Welcome on, welcome on. It
Nice.
has, with last week we were on here going in talking about the back to school bash, but not back to business as usual. It's been hot. We were definitely gonna be outside. We wasn't worried, but we knew that the heat could be a factor. But look at God. Look at God. I got a call at 11:30 that we had a line. I was like, I yabba dabba dude on back.
I was panicking. Where's John? Where's John? What I miss my where's John? Y'all know I can't do nothing without John. Where's John? Where's John? That's what I was like. John, where you at?
But yeah, we just were giving thanks. We wanted to start off this morning with just telling thank you. We got some pictures loaded up that we'll show just in case people missed it, whether they're in the Maplewood cluster, the Tom Joy community, all around Nashville. Big thank you to the pastor, Pastor Jose Rodriguez. His staff was like our staff, and we were like his staff. It was a true partnership with them really like helping with cleanup, setup, translating, and being part of the back to school bash.
Yeah, John, I actually have the pictures from the photographer. I'm gonna send them to you. Um, Great pictures. Yeah, but thank you guys. We got an echo. You got an echo? Maybe we got two devices going on. Hey, Thomas. I hope you getting some rest. Good morning, Miss Moore. Shout out to John, our vendors, like our parents, our vendors, Miss Moppin. She said she came up to me one time. She said, I want to do this. I was like, go on, do it. Go on, do it. Thank you for your leadership. That's exactly what I'm looking for. That assertiveness and that ability to take something and run. And I want to say thank you and I love you. It takes so much pressure off of me and off of the team. And no, ma'am, we developed powerful parent leaders. So no, ma'am, you did an excellent job. You brought your family out, your beautiful son, your friend, and we just like, I was ecstatic. I didn't get to go talk to your son, but next time I see you, I gotta give him a hug. I looked like he enjoyed himself out there, and
Yeah.
I was just excited just to see the people had graduated from the fellowships, the different fellowships, the different cohorts. The lady that did the balloons, Shantae, I think Shantae came out of maybe 3 or 4, cohort 3 or 4. And we've grown so much since then. Like our content and everything has grown since I was the first cohort. Since the first cohort, all the way up. And man, hey Jordan, Tierra done got Jordan out there in the t-shirt and made her work. Jordan, shout out to you. She's always on point, and always so helpful and always being a leader. So shout out to Jordan, Majors. Yeah, like Miss Moppin, what was you saying about this weekend? I jumped in late, y'all. I'm sorry.
Um, um, the weekend was awesome, and a lot of us cohorts got together. It's like we need to know each other better as a family, and maybe have like a cohort reunion. Like
Let's go.
high school.
You want to lead it? You want to do it?
Hey, I'm there.
I'm gonna give you a budget. You want it?
Okay. Don't play now.
Do I look like I played?
No, and I love it. But I did have a question that I at the beginning of this, especially for taxpayers and stuff. So, what is or will not suffer from the budget? Because I can't imagine the extra police that we have for the schools. Where is that coming from? And do we? And I feel we have a right to answer what's going to suffer or not suffer because of that. I doubt they're doing
it doesn't come out of the school budget. It doesn't come out of the school budget.
Okay.
So the SRO officers are they come out of the Metro Police budget, and they're actually managed by Metro Police. Hope that's helpful. Oh, you went to mute. You muted. Now I can hear you. Say something.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wanted to answer that for a lot of parents, because it was like, is that going to come out of some kind of budget? What's going to happen? Are taxpayers going to be taxed later on to cover for it, or what? So I said I would definitely ask, because I knew somebody would answer me with a real answer.
Yeah, that's the answer that I believe is the most accurate. About 98% sure that's how it is. 99% sure that SORO officers, that comes out of the Metro Police, the government budget, not the school budget. And they're not managed by the school or the school system. Is that right, John?
Yep, that's right. And I think what Ms. Moffin is referring to is a press conference yesterday between the police chief, Mr. Drake, and Dr. Battle, our superintendent, where they talked about having police officers kind of patrol the areas in the morning. I think they said from 7 to 11:30. But at the end of the article, as we were reading, it said that they haven't found out it's going to cost about $5 million to do this, but they don't know where the money going to come from. It was like the last sentence. So I think that just caused a lot of pause, to saying, on such big venture, you don't know where the money come from. And I also want to give a shout out to that one of our cohort 16 parents contributed to the article. That's one of the things she's really been hammering on, especially after Uvalde. And she has a kid in elementary, was making sure elementary schools are just as safe as the middle school and high school.
Yeah, what I do want to caution parents about, I think it's important that we educate parents around what all this means, because to be honest with you, a lot of white parents have a lot of voice in this, right? And it's not particularly our mission to talk about things like this. We do, but I think it's most important that you guys understand, like, what does the research say? You got to remember that our children historically have been a part of the school to prison pipeline. Number one, I want you to put that in the forefront of your thought as you're thinking about safety, as you're thinking about the solutions. What we don't want to do, and what has not proven to be good, is to have police involvement. that is heavy in any school, let alone an elementary school. You have to think about what that means for our children. If one of our children is having a bad day and they're having a bad day, we historically get laid out by police. And I'm not saying that Metro Police are, bad people or whatever. I'm not saying that. I am saying that as parents are speaking on this stuff and you're thinking about this, and somebody asks you, make sure that you're fully informed of the complexities of this conversation. And the thing is, what has already worked and what hasn't. When you look at Uvalde and you look at Texas, many of you don't know that those teachers in Texas are allowed to carry guns. That's already a law there. That's already a law. And in St. Louis, that's already the law. They can do that. You have to ask yourself, if you already got a law where teachers can carry guns, the kids still got killed. So is that the answer? Let's talk about how that man got in that building. First thing is, how do they get in the building? That man should have never gotten in that building. So do you need police officers in the building, or do you need to make sure that you don't prop doors and you shut doors and you screen people when they come in? Do we need to look at regulations? How did an 18-year-old turn 18, get approved for a gun, and go shoot up a school? Come on now. Facebook, he was posting he was going to kill people. Where's Facebook's responsibility? I just want you to make sure, as we're talking about these things, that we're not saying, yeah, put police in the school. Yeah, put a teacher in there with a gun. I'll be damned. Excuse my language. That ain't no good look. And I would not want my child, this is Sonia talking, sitting in the classroom with a teacher with a loaded gun. That's me. That's just me. That ain't all parents. I've talked to parents that say that they want that. That is just me. And I'm not speaking on behalf at this point of the organization. My thing is, on behalf of the organization, we have to look at the policies and practices and things that are already in place. We got to make sure that parents are fully informed of the process and the policies. And we got to make sure that we partner if there's something wrong with it, that parents are being listened to. That's the thing. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, no, that's it. And I see, Rhea, you gotta sign up as you gotta redo your thing as Facebook. It'll send you a notification, but everybody knows at this point the Facebook user is Rhea. So welcome back, Rhea. We definitely ready for school. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just play a little snippet of the Fox 17 article, just as parents who maybe didn't get a chance to see the article yesterday, as we get ready for back to school, just to be informed.
Keep kids safe and placate those parents who are worried about their children's safety this school year.
Metro schools rolling out a plan to have the biggest police presence in the city's history this school year. The city's police chief, John Drake, says there will be a police officer in every school in the Metro district, and that includes elementary schools. This is big news. Fox 17 News has live team coverage on the city's new school safety plan, and we begin with Jackie Del Pilar live in East Nashville after hearing from parents who believe more needs to be done.
Chief Drake says these changes come, of course, in light of that mass shooting in Uvalde. Now, elementary schools that didn't previously have officers like this one here will now have officers part-time. They're also adding safety ambassadors to all elementary schools who will work alongside SROs to develop and execute safety protocol. MMPD says they're adding officers to each elementary school until 11:30 a.m., then periodically throughout the day. Middle schools will have rotating officers, and all 13 comprehensive high schools will have at least 2 full-time officers. The district also plans to add 70 non-armed safety ambassadors to all elementary schools. Chief John Drake says the goal is to stop violence before it starts.
When I went through the training, I immediately told people I was training with that I'm either going to get shot or killed, but I'm prepared to do that. And our officers are prepared to do that.
But some parents say they want to see even more safety measures. Tamala Ensrud filed a formal complaint with the district, begging school leaders to do more to protect elementary students.
I wanted someone to answer me about what they're going to do for these kids.
Tamala says she wants to see officers in elementary schools full-time, and she wants to see barricades added to doors to prevent intruders. The barricades are used in thousands of districts across the country, but are against Nashville Fire Code.
And I rather would have door barricades in every classroom versus one ambassador that's unarmed on one side of a building when something could happen on the next.
I brought these concerns to Dr. Adrienne Battle.
Do you think your plan presented today will be enough to really keep kids safe and placate those parents who are worried about their children's safety this school year?
We're committed to continuing to reviewing our plans and layering in those additional supports. We'll be pressure testing our systems. If we determine there are changes that need to be made or adjustments that need to be made, we'll make those adjustments.
Chief Drake says he's reaching out to recently retired officers to help fill those security ambassador roles.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to Tamla. I went to high school with Tamla, and welcome to the movement. She already showing that strength. For the parents that are on here, I want you guys to answer me something. Do you guys want a meeting with Chief Drake? Do you want a meeting with Chief Drake? We are willing to set up a meeting with Chief Drake to discuss this. If that's what you want, I have direct contact to him. I can call him and see if he'll come out. He's a great guy. I've seen him in action for a couple of years now. And he is really responsive to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he would be glad if we could fill up a room and have him, Ms. Moffitt, to ask your questions you want to ask, and Tamala and all of these people on here. If you would like to, coordinate that meeting, maybe Miss Moffitt, you can mentor Tamala as she's coming in, and y'all work on that together. Let's set up a meeting for next week, and we'll, look, we're talking about this live, but this is what we do. Like, I want you guys to hear this on purpose, that in developing the parents' power is also getting them in front of decision makers. To make sure that they can ask the questions. And so, you're watching the behind the scenes conversations that we have on our team. Who's who it's called power mapping. Okay. Who has, Ms. Balfour, she's smiling. She's been taught that word. Who has the power? Who can make the decision? And so we don't need to talk about. We need to talk to the decision maker.
The decision makers.
And that's Dr. Hey, hold on, y'all. I got to put it in the music.
And Ms. Moffitt, as you looked at the article, and I'm pretty sure that's what you were referencing. What do you think?
I just don't want it to be business as usual. When our special needs kids have episodes, and my family member that actually works for the juvenile system, I've seen special needs kids being brought in handcuffs. That's my problem, because the go-to is always arrest the darker complected children, while the lighter complected children are allowed to continue their education and go to school over verbal, not even physical, not even weapons. So what justifies dragging a pregnant child to a hallway to be arrested? And that's my concern with more policing of our schools.
It's a real thing. I mean, we talk about this all the time, but the school to prison pipeline is real. We did Disrupt and Dismantle, in 2021 for Black History Month, and to see the numbers, we already knew it was a problem. We already knew 37208 was the highest incarcerated zip code in the country. Well, you might as well say the world or the universe. But we also saw those other zip codes right here in Nashville. So with that being number one, you had some zip codes right in the city that were number 20, number 23. And so those are things that are definitely top of the mind of making sure our kids are not over policed. And Krishan says that they're worried about them wearing Crocs, but not their safety.
Come on now.
And I'll tell you, just going back to it, big shout out to Miss Taylor. Like I said, big shout out to everybody. But Miss Taylor, came in there, rolled her sleeves up. Not only did she jump in there with you, Miss Moffitt, but she had her kids in there rocking and rolling. So for all of us, it was a family affair. I know you brought your family, I brought my family, and they were on that snow cone, that popcorn machine, and the cotton candy machine for most of the day. But it was a wonderful experience. Wonderful.
I'm sorry, I actually had the photographer stop by here by the house and help me to get the pictures from this weekend. So I'm sorry I had to go on mute in the middle of the show.
Oh, that was right on time.
Yes, and that's called good customer service. Miss Sonia could not operate the photo folder within, so he came by and he did it. He operated for me.
Yep, and here go a few of the photos. You see that backdrop with so many kids were taking pictures under it. You see the line.
John,
come on now. At 11:30, I said, "Oh, it's time to yabba dabba do back on. We got a line." And sign up. Shout out to Miss Cheyenne. Shout out to Victoria for running sign in. See Tierra in the back. See that popcorn machine with Miss Taylor and her family. I mean, the popcorn machine.
Miss Taylor said they didn't show me how to do this right. I said, guess what I said? You run it. Do it.
Yep.
She had no problem out of that. She did. I love her. Her little kids just loved it.
Come on now. And then we had some vendors out there. So you get a chance to talk about school and education. That school is getting ready to start on Monday. So thank you for the partners. I think Sonya Lee, Prep Southeast. I think Purpose Prep. We had our mental health specialists.
We had Dr. Chanel Moore Lawson.
Yes.
We had our Freedom School partners.
Yes.
Nashville Free, and we had Metro Nashville Police.
Come on now. Absolutely. Teamwork.
Oh, but don't forget Councilwoman Toombs.
I will agree. I mean, just to see her come out, again, she could have been doing anything. She had helped us a lot, but not only just showing up, but showing out, walking around, talking to people. Those are things you want to see. And I think that's what makes good community engagement. You see what we do, on Access Denied with parents like Miss Moffitt. But for her to come out there and watch that graduation, watch the happiness, the celebration, that's the true partnership that we need in our elected officials.
And I got to go on and tell the story. She was Johnny on the spot. You hear me? She was Johnny on the spot. I'm going to be transparent. We had about 2 weeks to get this together. 2 solid weeks. Just with stuff just happening, right? And when I tell you that when I got in touch with her, she's like, what you need?
Mm-hmm.
And she was my rock doing that. I want to say can I say thank you to my kids and my mom?
Come on now. I saw them pull up with you. I know why you saying thank you.
How many vehicles did my kids pull up in?
Y'all pulled up in 3 or 4 vehicles.
My kids, with just trying to order stuff, with trying to sort stuff. My mom was coming up here in the morning time, just helping. And I gotta say thank you. And it just warms my heart because they never complain.
Yeah.
They never not that they're complaining children, but they were like, Mama, do you need something else? Mama, go lay down. Because I was worried. They was like, Mama, go lay down. We got this. We're doing this. We're going to do that. And my oldest son, got out there, he got off work, came and got a vehicle, was setting up them tents like he had a tent company.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was just stepping in, knowing that we were kind of low capacity on our team right now.
Mm-hmm.
Who we're praying for right now. He's out, back soon, hopefully. He's out. And so it was just really hard. But I think this is the most rewarding thing we've done in the last few months.
Yeah.
It turned out absolutely beautifully. And then to see that our fellows, we had at one point 29 fellows who volunteered. So with volunteering to prep stuff, get stuff done. Shout out to Miss Hooten. Miss Hooten was calling me what you need, girl. Like
Mhm.
Cheyenne, Kimberly, I mean, Miss
One fellow
Abiola.
even showed up. She was under the dryer too long. She was like, "Look, I gotta get down to this back to school bash." She came in about like, "Oh, let's snap it up." She like, "No, I'm here to support y'all, but I ain't gonna do the picture thing." But nah, she literally got from under the dryer and said she had to zoom on down there because she didn't want to miss it and she wanted to support her family.
Diane, Abiola, Miss
Mhm.
Streeter. Don't let me miss nobody. What's the lady name that brought the donated the 20 backpack?
That's Miss Amber Pardue.
Miss Amber Pardue, Nolan, one of our fathers, Nolan, Kendall, Kendall. I want to make sure we're not missing nobody. Y'all need to pull
Our
up that list.
kids.
Who?
For me, it was our kids, and my
Yes.
daughter just got in line and started helping.
Your daughter showed did.
To let them participate in something that's greater than you.
I got something for the teenagers. Can y'all give me a list of the teenagers that helped out? There was another guy got his picture. Tierra probably know who he is. He was going to my car getting boxes. Who is the cohort lady that was speaking Spanish? That just
See.
graduated. Go to the video. She right there on the video. Go to those pictures.
Okay.
Bilingual. I didn't even know she was bilingual and she was translating. Thank right there by Shay to the right.
Oh, that's Miss Diane Call. She was in cohort 15. Yeah.
Okay, I had her name right. Diane, we're gonna bless you. She was interpreting. Shout out to Maribel and Perla who flew in from San Antonio with Mind Shift Ed. They represent the Latino families in their community who have children who also go to low performing schools in the low performing districts, and they flew out and they what y'all need? They flew out. They was Johnny on the spot, and me and John and the team, we're gonna go to San Antonio soon. Miss Mop, I'm gonna have to go and get you on a flight with us. I see now who my riding dads are. And we're gonna go to San Antonio and we're going to help them when they need us. And we go to Memphis and all places where the parent movement is being built. And so yeah, we got to go return a favor because they were simply amazing. They were our rock. Maribel said, "Thank you for not inviting me and for inviting me and not having me stand around and not do anything." Like,
come on now.
That meant something to her that we actually needed her, and we did. And I thank God.
Yes, indeed.
Who else is out there? The bishop that was after Bishop Marcus Campbell came out.
Yes.
Lady Stacy came out. The Bishop Rodriguez, there's a Pastor Rodriguez and a Bishop Rodriguez. Who else came out there? Did we have any? We didn't have no Metro Schools officials out there, bless their heart. And then the Tennessee Department of Education.
With the raccoons?
Dr. Penny Swin and Dr. Lisa Coombs and Chelsea. Let me tell y'all something. Dr. Swin reached out to me a couple of months ago and she told me, "Thank you for holding them accountable." That is leadership. But when I called them, they showed up. Dr. Swin reached out herself. She won the whole state education, not just the district. Leader to leader reached out. Yeah, I'm calling that stuff out. Leader to leader reached out and said, "What you need?" And she said, and then came back and said, "I'm closing the loop to make sure you got what you need." Dr. Penny Swin, much respect. Much respect to you and your team. Victoria, Chris, thank you. Who else, John? Can we think of anybody else?
I'm gonna pull up the list at the very end just to make sure we personally thank everybody.
Read through our parents. Read all through our parents. Make sure we don't miss none of them parents that was there because y'all did the darn thing. Oh, Shantae with Balloon Bate. One of our former, I said her, didn't I? Camila with the concessions in the bouncy house. Oh, DJ Lamont Frierson.
Come on now.
Lamont had an event, y'all. He always comes through for us. Cleared his morning to set up for Propel. That right there, that's partnership, that's friendship, that's many years of friendship, that's many years of believing in me. He came and did our retreat.
Oh yeah, retreat. Yeah, taught us a line game.
Yeah, and held us with learning about organizing and mobilizing through dancing and leadership and teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
He believes in the work of Nashville Appropriate. Anybody else we leaving out?
Yeah.
Oh, Grill Works. They did our food. Thank you. Shout out to Grill Works. They was like, oh my God, our food was gone in like 45 minutes.
Yeah, Officer Slater and his wife.
Okay, can I tell you about Officer Slater?
Yes.
Officer Slater called me about, it's probably been a month ago now. He used to be the SRO at Oliver Elementary or Middle. Y'all seen him in the media. And we've been partnering around this whole safety thing, amplifying the voices of parents around Nashville. And what was funny about Saturday was he saw my youngest daughter, Trinity. What made it funny, he'd been knowing my daughter for years.
Wow.
He was actually he had kids at Davidson Academy when she went there. He said, I know we family now. He loved him some Trent. And he been knowing my daughter for years. And I just didn't put it together that we probably have crossed paths as a family before. But he and his wife were out there under that tent in that hot sun. And, you know, this is a man that has battled skin cancer, melanoma before. And he loves all children, black, brown, white, green, yellow, Asian. He don't care. This man loves children, cares about children, and he will fight on behalf of Nashville's marginalized children. And I say, welcome to the movement, Officer Slater.
Welcome to the movement.
I got hyped.
So one of the things that we want to get into, and when we talk about back to school, but not back to business as usual, this is what we mean. Like last week, we talked about, you know, teachers, like having teachers at the school. And we know historically the schools that are not fully staffed are the schools in Black, brown, and poor areas. This week, we want to talk about just some of the principals who are coming through. But Ms. Moffitt, I want to ask you, as you get ready for high school with your daughter, what are some of the things that you're expecting? What are some of the things that you're looking forward to? And then what do you want to make sure parents stay on top of?
IEP meetings. Because we have and my worries is the fact that we do have a teacher shortage. The fact that we're having A and B days, which can be challenging for kids on the spectrum greatly because they need that consistency. Which is why I'm just trying to help my daughter just navigate, keep her organized so she can deal with the fluctuation because of the short staff. And the fact that I don't want the stress on her because they're talking about it's a possibility of comp services because they don't have the SLPs and the OTs. So it seems like just the same repetitiveness as it was last year for me. At least in my experience.
Man, that's and first of all, I'm just gonna say that I'm sorry. I think that parents who have students with exceptional needs are some of the strongest parents I've ever seen in my life. I'm getting emotional. I'm sorry. Y'all are some of the strongest people. It's not just that you got to go to the school and deal with the foolishness, but you got to like emotionally at home, take care of yourself and take care of yourself and your family and fight through the difficulty. I think about Candace, one of our parents, Candace
Brewington,
who has her son William, and she fights, and she hasn't been a part of our cohort yet. But I just sit back. I know she's a part of us, and I sit back and I watch the things that she fights for William, and I watch you, and I watch Victoria. Y'all are some of the strongest people I ever met in my life.
Relentlessness.
Relentless. And I am so glad to fight. And me and Miss Maupin, we got some stuff coming up. some conversations that we're gonna have with the team around some ideas that she may have. I'm sure that it's rooted and grounded in a lot of this conversation we're having. So we ain't gonna spill no beans until she can
Yeah.
get a vision for it. But I'm looking forward to connecting her vision to the main vision of the organization. And just know that there are some things behind the scenes that I am doing as related to exceptional ed students. And I can't wait to share with you and the rest of the parents. And that's all I'll say about that, because then I'll be talking too much. But just know that I even just sent in a proposal last week around helping parents with children with exceptional ed needs. So, yeah, John, they're just the dopest parents. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry that this is happening, but just know that we're going to figure out how it stops happening to Black parents, because it seems like it happens to us more than it does and worse.
Yeah, and that's part of my article that we're reading from the Tennessean. You know, when you look at some of the schools on this list that have gotten new principals, a lot of these schools have been in the bottom 5 and the bottom 10, and you have these changes. I look at the longer a principal stays, the longer a teacher stays, it just creates relationships, right? There were times in my school career where they taught my brothers, they taught me, and they taught my sister, and it was a relationship. It was expectations. They knew how we came to the table, like with our learning styles. And just taking a look at this list, and I'll pull it up now, it shows you it's kind of like a merry-go-round at times. And I'm gonna just read a couple of snippets of it. But it says, the headline says, here are the new principals at Metro Nashville Public Schools for the school year. And Metro Nashville Public Schools announced new principals for the 2022-2023 school year. This year, MNPS filled 16 seats that were needed for principals across the district. It says school leadership is a key factor in the success of our students, teachers, and support staff. And I'm grateful to these public servants who have stepped up to lead these school communities. And you look at Fall Hamilton and the Vine Hill community, they had their principal for a number of years who just left. Head, you have Miss Kenya Reese Napier, who had a principal who took them out of priority status. They have a new principal. Nashville School of Arts, Justin Thomas, Robert Churchwell. It's just been kind of a merry-go-round there. Ruby Major, Stratton Elementary, who lost a longtime principal. Stratford, who just lost their principal. I think his name was Dr. Steele. Whitsitt, and then Cane Ridge Elementary. Haynes, which is a priority school. Jones, a priority school. And then Paragon Mills, a high ESL population.
Hey, John, can you send me that list?
Yes.
I think we need to have a meeting with all of these principals.
Yes.
I've heard some good things about Dr. Pratt.
Okay.
From the East parents that were wanting him to be the parents over there, in administration over there. When they changed principals, they were organizing and meeting with the district and demanding that they get Dr. Pratt, and the district didn't listen to them. So now he's at Stratford. And that's just another example of, these parents showed up. They organized hundreds of signatures, hundreds of parents, but thousands of signatures. They were told that they were going to be worked with and listened to and be able to take part in the decision. And when you organize that well and have that much traction, and then they don't listen to you, and they name Myra Taylor, the principal over there, after the parents said what they wanted, I think that that's a problem. And Myra Taylor, she may be okay. I'm not saying she's not, but they wanted Dr. Pratt. And they should have gotten Dr. Pratt. Thousands of signatures, hundreds of parents. What else do you need? Can hear you, John.
And like what I was saying, and he was actually at the school. And so when you talk about thousands of signatures, that matters. But Ms. Moffin, what do you think?
Like I
Like, how
said,
important is it
I
to
come
have
from
that
a family
partnership?
with special needs, as she said, and I just don't know. I don't know. They still need consistency. They see different faces. As you said, learning styles. My daughter last year went through 4 math teachers. So it was 4 times she had to relearn their teaching styles to adapt to her. When I need you to adapt, I need you to, for her to adapt her learning to them, but I need you to adapt to my child. I have service providers that's calling me in tears like, I'm sorry, but I got to leave for whatever reason, maybe health reasons because of COVID. So one of the family members is down and they're like, I can't afford to do this. One service provider is like, hey, I just got divorced. And she was being vulnerable, which I appreciate. And she said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be here. Even though we finally got your son where we need him to be, I'm going to have to leave because I can't afford to live here. And it's actually leaving Nashville. They have business incentives. Let's have teacher incentives. Let's stop doing stuff at the last minute prior to school. So you're getting subpar people coming in because you're desperate and you're thirsty. When you wouldn't have to be if you got ahead of this a day of time. Quit waiting for the wolf to be in my house eating my kids up. Catch him when he's at the door. And this is what I need. I need better. We deserve better. We need better. Even with our general ed kids, they have been struggling. They talk to me about this stuff. And I believe we should be able to choose. Let's have a sit down. Let's choose. Let's go over it. Make sure the parents are more informed so they can make better decisions. When you have one teacher in our predominantly black schools with 50 kids, and I got a teacher over here with two teachers in a more predominantly white school that my daughter was blessed to go to, which I think was a cursing at the end. And you sit up there and you have 2 teachers with 20 kids and you're complaining because you can't get to my daughter. When my daughter just left a school that was predominantly black with 50 to 55 kids, because that's her thing. She does counting. That's part of her spectrum, okay? She does counting. And you have one teacher with no substitute teacher, and she's going from room to room, especially in a core class of math, dividing her time. It's a problem.
Did you say her gift is counting? You said her gift is counting, like she counts stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
we
my
have
God.
been going through this. John has been through the journey. Thank you, John, so much for showing
Teamwork.
up. He's been through
Wait a
the
minute,
journey.
I'm trying to get clarity on something. You're saying her gift, like she counts stuff. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why I'm smiling. There was something I saw on national news where it was like a big company, $1 billion company, who were looking for children like your daughter.
Thank you. Yeah,
Wow.
we've been looking into it. We've been looking into it.
Yeah, so that just caught me because so many times we're looking at probably what's wrong.
Thank you. What's right.
Gifted with. And so, yeah, I'm gonna be looking for something for her. I'm sorry, I got distracted because all I can think about is her reaching her greatest potential, no matter what they do, no matter what they don't give her or think they ain't gonna give her. I just said to myself, what? Wait a minute, who gonna get? Look, this is the thing, Karen. Ain't nobody gonna keep on having time fussing at them about what they ain't doing right. I made a move today. John, should I go on and tell him or tell him next week?
Tell them next week.
I'll tell him next week. Miss Martha, the only thing, I'm sorry, but that right there, I didn't want to forget that part.
So, and that's the heavy stuff. And as I look at Myra's comment, Miss Taylor's comment, she says the person is worried about the kids wearing Crocs, making children pay for parking. and didn't really hear anything about a curriculum plan. I think they had a meeting over, back to school. And shout out to East End Prep. Got a chance to go there last night, and I'll talk about that a little later. But man, it seems like, when we talk about, back to school bash, but not back to business as usual, when you're talking about things unrelated to making sure kids can read, making sure kids can graduate college, career, community ready, that's what you end up running into. Crocs and parking. It's a lot of nothing.
Can I say something about that title, John, for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Back to school, but not back to business as usual. Not back to business as usual was not for the school system. It was for every parent under the sound of my voice. We ain't got to go back to business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna ignite a movement where we reinvent, and propel education for our own children. Y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You're asking them for too long. And I'm sounding the alarm now. The back to school, but not back to business as usual. We're not going back to business as usual. We're not going. We ain't going no more. We're not going. We're going to make sure that, okay, well, y'all reinvest that money. We're going to find ways to reinvent education and propel our own children's education. Are y'all feeling that? Ignite the movement.
Hell yeah.
Invest, reinvent, and propel education for our own children. Are y'all listening to me? We're going to reinvent, we're going to reinvest, and we're going to propel education for our own children. I don't plan to be sitting here having the same damn conversation next year. I'm tired.
Enough is enough.
I'm tired.
I'm
tired. Y'all tired. I'm looking at a tired mama. So why, if we're sinking and drowning, and we're saying we're sinking and drowning, and they telling us they can't save us, why do we keep begging them to save us? Come on, Miss Murphy. Come on off mute. Say something. Let's go.
Can y'all hear me?
Uh-huh.
Why we keep paying them for neglect? I'm not gonna pay you to come in my house and keep my boy. I'm sorry. I got issues with that.
Paying for neglect. And I mean, essentially, a lot of times that's what it is. Like, when you get a kid who may be in juvenile, I went to go talk to some juvenile kids who were graduating, and, we're just back there writing, and you realize that they're not academically prepared to go into the workforce. And what does that mean? That means you're not really making any money. I mean, Ms. Moffitt, you just said somebody had to leave the profession because Nashville was so expensive. So just think about the kids. I mean, minimum wage in Nashville is indentured servitude. Like, who want to work for $7.25? It ain't even worth it unless it's a hobby. Unless like, you ain't got nothing but time, and your place is paid off, your car's paid off, you got an electric vehicle, because you wouldn't even be able to afford gas. You work a whole day, that's the gas tank, let alone the rent. And say it again, Ms. Mom.
You're working to work. You're working just to be able to go back to work again and do it all over again.
At the end of the day. And so, parents, as we get ready to wrap up, just be on the lookout. And so, we started something, and it was almost like a reunion, but we're going to be doing some things as the school year starts back this month, and definitely September, to make sure that we highlight the voices of the parents who have been fighting on their own, who have been ringing the alarm, who have been robbed. Robbed of a better life for their children. And so whether it's at the local board, whether it's at the state legislature, or a community near you, like, our parents are going to be loud and proud.
Yes. John, did you shout out to the schools that's been inviting us over?
the schools that have been inviting us.
Inviting us, like there's a lot of schools that have been opening the doors. I want to thank Dr. Regina Edders, who's she's with Metro Schools, but she's kind of like with the magnet school thing. She's out this weekend. But there's a lot of charter schools that have been also like asking us to come over. And can you shout a few of them out, John?
Yeah, definitely. Intrepid Prep out in Southeast Nashville. I mean, it was a melting pot of everybody in there, just with parents so excited. Really nice school. Last night we had East End Prep, which was been amazing. I've been rocking with that school since they started their first classes, and just to see, I mean, they clearly got over 500 families in it. I want to say about hundreds of parents were in that gym smiling, signing up for the PTO, signing up to talk more about Propel, meeting the teachers. And then you could just tell, like, leadership matters. And that's been at least the fourth year in a row I've been to the back to school orientation. And it just, they're firing on all cylinders. And when I ask parents, my biggest question is, but why this school? And just to hear the parents light up and talk about their why, it helps you realize, like, that's what we need more of and not less of.
Krishan said, I'm gonna say what she said. So if y'all got cheering in the room, I'm gonna read it. She said, I'm over the same shit, different day.
Mm-hmm.
What all children have to wear is Crocs. So she's talking about this Crocs thing. My child can't read, but it's because they had on the wrong shoes. I'm sorry. I'm just pissed that this is the focus. Let's focus on what they are there for and their safety. And that's what we're focused on as an organization. You don't hear us talking about Crocs.
Right.
You hear us talking about what our mission aligns to. If they can't read, if they can't read, and I don't care what exceptional thing they have going. It does not. 99% of all of us can be taught how to read. Now there are some children, they're going to have to learn some different ways, but I even think that there's some ways that they can learn. We are fighting for what we're fighting for, but we gonna fight different. We're gonna fight different. We're gonna fight different. We ain't fighting the same no more. We fight different.
And with that, as we end, I wanted to go back, Sonia, and highlight the parents, and let me know if I missed some. I'm going off our volunteer list and the people I see. One, like, shout out to Ms. Moffin, like, not only being there, bringing her family, but picking parents up, taking parents back home. That matters when you got volunteers who are passionate about the work. And so thank you for that. For Ms. Cheyenne, who is our cohort 15 leader. Not only did she take on the role, did she accept the role, but she went all in, even calling us out for not getting her the list, because she wanted to make sure she was calling her people to show up. Kimberly Smith, Victoria Gordon, who's, been a soldier, been to Cincinnati with us, showed up on the front page of the paper talking about her work. Miss Diane Cal, another cohort 15 who helped us with the Spanish. Thank you, ma'am. Miss Fuquay came out. Tamika Rogers, Arnisha, Demetria Prince, Miss Rollins, Melinda Bascom Harvey, again, Cree, Miss Hooten, and many, many more. And shout out to Sarah and Trinity Thornton, Miss Reed, Miss Moore, Miss Sadia, Miss Newsom, and shout out to Tierra and Thomas, and even Torvis. Torvis made a cameo, even though he was going through the mourning of his father. He still made time to drive all the way into town and make sure we were having a good time and we were rocking. And then he went back to be with his family. So thank you, Mr. Gardner, for even showing up.
Yeah, and we celebrate the homegoing of our fifth leader, Shaka Dukarang, this week. Those arrangements up on our Facebook so that people have it. But I want to ask that you guys pray for her children.
Yeah.
Those who have to take care of them going forward, and just know that as Nashville Propel, we plan to play a big role in her children's education. We know exactly what she wanted for her children. And so when I call y'all and say that I need to roll up on somebody because they're not doing right by baby girl Naya and Malkeem Ray, as Shaka so passionately called them,
Mm-hmm.
just know that I'm not gonna play about them kids.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever school they at, just know I'm gonna be on the list. So they might as well get rid. I'm gonna be on the list. John gonna be on the list.
Come on now.
Poppy gonna probably be on. We're gonna be on the list, and we're gonna make sure that the dream and the vision she had for under 1 pound Malkeem and 1 pound Naya when they was born, gonna happen. So I'm sorry, I had to go on and say that. I want to make so they got to make a public service announcement.
Come on now.
So rewind the tape if you have to. Not playing about these children. I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's good, and we'll be sharing that out because we think that's important. And you know, Sonia, you had your relationship with her. I had my relationship, but I realized going on Facebook, there were a lot of people who had a personal relationship with Shanka before the fame, before Big Mama Thornton, because our heart was just in the right place.
Man, Shanka was never a different person. Like she was the same with everybody. That's why everybody loved her. She'll cuss you out and everything, and then hug you. Like she was just like a real friend. She holds you accountable. She loved you. She would go off. She was passionate, just as passionate about her singing as she was. She's more passionate about her children. And we got to see a side of Shanka that I don't think the world really knows, John.
Yeah.
Like right there with her children.
Yeah.
Her children played in my living room. Okay. They ate in my house. I went to church with them on Sunday mornings. Like, though that kind of stuff. When Shanka taught my oldest son, that's how I met her. He came home, he said, "Oh, Miss Shanka this and Miss Shanka that." I got jealous. I said, "Who the hell is Miss Shanka?"
Come on now, who is Shanka?
Who is Shanka? That's how I first met her 20-something years ago. Was through my son Jordan. And he loved, and she taught children. And Metro Schools did her wrong. I ain't told that public. There's a time and a place for that. But I will. I'm gonna tell her story. I'm gonna tell her story. She worked in the system, and they did her wrong like they did most other people because of all that cahooting they do together. Part of this and that. And when you speak up and call something out, they want to ostracize you. I'm gonna tell her story.
Come on now. She deserves it. Yeah, and I'm gonna
stay on here when we get ready to go. Stay on here.
Okay, and I'm gonna highlight one other. I want to highlight. You know, some of us had a chance to travel down to Springfield and visit the funeral for Torvis. Torvis has been such a leader with the team, with the organization, and what I realized, Torvis is just like his daddy. And so, Dallas Cowboy, I know Torvis loves the Eagles, but it was quite the show. And, they brought the whole city out. They had it at the Civic Center. So it just warmed my heart. It hurt to know that he was going through and he is going through, but it also warmed my heart to see just the love. And now I know where he got it from. Because it was definitely in the building.
Yeah, so I think we all have something else we got to celebrate. He made this public already, so I feel okay with saying it. On his birthday, he was told he was cancer-free.
Wow.
So we praise God.
Wow.
Lord, this ain't got nothing to do with Nashville Popel and religion. Lord, we praise you. We thank you. Because only you can do that. And I said it. Yeah, I said it out loud. Ain't got nothing to do with our organization. Now we're talking people. Our organization is about people. We love people. And we were believing and having faith that God would heal, and he did so. The movement continues.
Amen. Ms. Moffitt, any last words?
One thing to my parents out there, it is now legal to get your IEP draft to to 3 days ahead of time. Please exercise that so you can best represent your child. Don't let them send it digitally. If you need it paper-wise, get it paper-wise. Do what you got to do.
Can you send that to us so we can put that on the on our
Yep.
social medias? So let's stay on the line here. We're gonna put that on the SPED page too, and I'm gonna announce we're gonna give you operation for that. You run that. Make sure these parents know what's going on.
I already started tweeting, doing some more stuff, but yes, ma'am, I got it.
Stay right here. You run.
All right.
Officially, congratulations. You have been appointed our SPED Facebook page administrator. Thank you.
Come on now. All right, guys. Well, we will see you guys next Wednesday. Thank you guys for tuning in. Ms. Moffitt, as always, thank you for bringing your power and your leadership. And we will see you guys next week.
It's an honor. Thank you.